Good morning or good evening, wherever you are in this large, lovely world. Welcome to my English classroom here at my elementary school. This video is mainly for EPIC teachers or English teachers that are coming to Korea, since that's what I have experience with. But it can also be helpful if you're going to be an English teacher going to other countries as well, so Japan or Taiwan or wherever. I know the February intake of EPIC teachers is coming very close. It's January now, so I figured this video would be very helpful for those that are going to be coming over here soon. And just as a note, I teach at an elementary school, and I think majority of EPIC teachers will be placed in elementary school. And these points are going to be specifically things that I learned on the job that weren't necessarily in the official guidebook or things that we actually learned at orientation or something. Alright, so number one, this point actually, okay, I lied. This point is actually going to be talked about during orientation, but it's just something I want to emphasize again because it's so important. Expect the unexpected. You're going to be living in another country, so there's going to be a lot of things that will come up that you'll just be like, what the actual? For example, take my classroom. See this? They're all stools. There's no desks in this classroom. And when I first got here, I was like, how does this work? They're all stools. There's no desks. What is going on? You're gonna ask yourself that a lot through this whole journey. What is going on? I don't know what's happening. So expect that, and that's totally okay. Everything that happens here, it will be what you make of it. Let's take my stools in the classroom. I actually love these stools as opposed to having desks in the classrooms. People ask like, oh, how do your students do writing stuff? How do they do writing practice? So for my school, they don't do that here. They do it in their homeroom classroom with my English co-teacher. So they have separate classes for that. And then they come here and we work in the textbook and we do games in here and more conversational stuff and listening and things like that. And I just think these stools are brilliant. They're a great idea because they're so flexible. You can move them around for games. Students work in pairs or in groups. They can just turn so easily, move around in their chairs. So expect the unexpected. Think positively. You are what you make your situation and how you react to that situation. Okay, now we're gonna get to some nitty-gritty stuff. Number two, stopping fights. Believe it or not, you know, in elementary school, kids are gonna be fighting. I've stopped several fights through the year. Third graders fighting, fourth graders fighting, fifth graders fighting. Thankfully, I haven't stopped any sixth grade fights. A lot of the sixth grade students are taller than I am, much larger than I am. They're getting to that age where they're growing so rapidly. The fights that I'd stop, you know, they're little kids still, so I could easily just throw them off of each other. I knew there was some sort of policy, especially back in the States, about approaching fights in schools, especially as a teacher. But I know that here in Korea they probably approach that issue differently. The fight situations that I had to deal with here, just by instinct for me, I felt that I could easily diffuse the situation. You know, there may be some fights that you'll have to stop here and there. Hopefully not. I know there's some teachers that probably never experienced that. I'm in a really large school too, so a lot of kids, a lot of angst and stuff. Number three, things that come out of students' bodies. So I'm talking nosebleeds, kids throwing up, snot coming out of their nose. It's very common for their nose to just start bleeding. Some of the younger classes will like kind of freak out about it and be like, teacher, nose, there's blood coming out of her nose. The whole class will have to be stopped, whereas, you know, some students, maybe like sixth graders, will come up quietly and be like, teacher, my nose is bleeding, can I go to the nurse or something? So there's just different ways that students approach their nosebleeds. Like, you know, I always got a roll of toilet paper here handy. Kids throwing up. I've had this happen maybe once or twice. We're just teaching class, and then right in the middle of class, this was a third grade class, the student just threw up everywhere. We had to stop the class. My co-teacher told everyone to just go up to their homeroom classroom, and then we just spent the rest of the class just cleaning up her throw up. And well, oh, this was in my sixth grade class actually. A very special student. He was in class and then suddenly he sneezed and then a bunch of snot just came out of his nose and was just hanging there. I had to stop the class for that too because everyone was just so distracted by like the massive amounts of snot coming out of his nose. So I just Da-da-da-da, toilet roll paper came in handy again, and told everyone to just calm down, come back to focus, come back to me. Number 4, be expecting a lot of emotions and feelings. You're working with kids, so kids will make you laugh, cry, exhausted, angry, they will make you scared. You'll be like walking and then you'll suddenly hear, "Hello, teacher!" And you're just like, oh my god. Probably almost every day I'll be sitting at my desk here. It's just so quiet, I'll just be sitting at my desk and then there's a huge bang at my door because the students, I like to call knock and dip. So they knock on my door and then they run away. So dip scares me because it's like one big bang on my door and I just get I like jump and then I'm like, ugh. Sometimes students are cool and they'll tattletale on each other. I'll hear the bang and I'll freak out, and then a couple minutes later, a few students, they open my door and then they're like, "Teacher, he did it, he did it." And I'll be like, "Okay, come over here so I can kill you." But to sum things up, the one emotion you will definitely feel from these students is love. You're gonna feel the love. You know, there's a lot of love. They make you crazy. It's like sometimes, but you continue to work with them, you continue to be their teacher, you know, that adult in their life that motivates them and helps them, guides them, hopefully inspires them in some way. Students will also come and visit you after class. They'll be curious about you. They'll want to talk to you even though they can't speak English that well, but it's really adorable. They'll come and give gifts, pat their cute little heads, and when I'm walking to school, help them cross the street. Sometimes the traffic stop ajushi will be looking or he'll be busy, and then some students will cross the road and like cars are coming and you have to be like, "No! Stop! Wait! Okay, let's go together." Like, yeah, it's like that. If I was part of the EPIC hiring process, I would have to make sure that I'm hiring someone who actually loves kids and loves working with kids, because I think that's so important. I know a lot of people come through this program because they want to broaden their horizon, travel a bit, have that experience of living in another country and whatnot, and their aspirations aren't completely with the actual position of being a teacher and working with children, and I understand that, but I think it's so important to at least love kids. It will make your job so much easier. If you don't like kids, if you'd rather not, you know, if you'd rather not. If you like kids, no kids, I would rather no kids, you know, if it's like that, then don't do this job. The kids will get more out of it if you love them and if you like working with them. They will get more out of it. You will get more out of it too. Okay, well, those are all of the tips that I have for today. If I think of any more, I'll add them in the description. Or if you have any specific questions about this topic, then feel free to comment. I'll answer them. And good luck to all of the new English teachers that are coming next month. I was exactly in your shoes a year ago, so I'm really excited for you. I'm here to help, so if you have, like I said, any questions or just want to talk it out because you're so nervous, just let me know. I'm here. Good luck, fighting!